If you're anything like me, you always wanted one of these mansions that these rappers have. I mean, I can remember growing up watching MTV Cribs. I mean, I don't know if y'all remember, like they had this TV show where they would do these walkthroughs of all of the rappers in their nice houses. You know, it'd be like a 3-story, house, nice yard with the pool. And they'd be walking you around the house, showing you all their arts and their trophies and stuff. Well, how do I get that? If I'm not a rapper, how do I get me a mansion? Being 34 years old, being successful in business, I've realized that not just rappers are able to afford mansions, that business people are able to get mansions as well. Matter of fact, a lot of business people are going towards this like family compound, where it's not just their house. They got their house and they got some family members' houses. They growing, they growing some stuff in the backyard, and they got some animals, and they got, and they got 30 acres. So in this video, I figured I'd share with you, how does the average ordinary person get successful in business so that way they can afford to buy the mansion that they want. What's up, guys? It's your boy Sawan Belcher. This is me taking action right here on YouTube. If you don't know, we talk about real estate investing and how to make as much money as possible during a 30-day period of time while you cherry pick the very best houses for yourself. All right, now let's get to talking about this, about this mansion business. Okay, now, of course, at the end of the day, you got to be able to make money, when it comes to owning a big estate. Okay, and that's just at the bottom line. But you don't have to be a rapper to do this. If you want to have a bigger house and a bigger property, you can do that by just owning, a real estate company. So real estate companies, typically they're making their money in several different ways. In rental income, in fix and flip profit. So that's properties that they buy, they fix up, and then they sell in 6 to 12 months, or in some kind of like development. So taking raw land and either, making the plans for it and selling it, or building the house and selling it. And so real estate people make so much money because in actuality, if you look at all the things that you can buy, real estate is one of the top 2 most expensive things in the world, that people buy, daily, because they have to have a place to stay. And when you have bigger numbers, you have bigger profit. And when you have bigger profit, you can afford to live a lifestyle of being able to own a bigger house that you might want or might not want. By the way, and I'm not pushing you guys. If you guys don't want a big house, I get it. I'm just giving you the idea that if you want something, in life, if you want a bigger property, if you want to have multiple houses for your family, and you want to be able to afford, a lifestyle, where you're able to be an example. People are just like, wow, I've always wanted to be able to do that. And so I'm not trying to influence anybody that doesn't want to be inspired at this particular moment, just so you know. So the way, business people are able to afford these mansions is by creating multiple streams of income inside of one particular category. Don't let this fool you. And it seems like rappers make a lot of money, but they're not making a lot of money from one thing. See, they got actual sales of the music, of them selling a CD or DVD or selling the music on iTunes, but they also get paid off of streaming, a certain amount of CPM for per stream that they get, whether that's online or on the radio. They also get endorsements, people paying them to wear their particular brand, or clothing or outfit when either they're online or when they're at an event. So get paid by doing tours, And so there's several different ways to make money inside of one category. And what makes real estate attractive is you can do that same thing. It's not just like, oh, you do real estate. No, well, what do you do inside of real estate? Okay. And so I'm gonna break those down to you of how some of my guys that I've grown to know in business have been able to do it. Shout out to my guy, Austin Rutherford. But he was one of the first people to inspire me that my dream of owning a bigger house was possible, and he was working towards it at the same time. Now I'm 34 and I think Austin is 29 at this point. So he's younger than me. He's already, owning rentals. So I think when I met him in 2019, I think he had 40 and I think I had 20 at the time. He encouraged me to let's do the math to figure out how many properties we'll need in order to get the desired income that we want. Okay, and so when you're looking at numbers, rents on average, my rent right now for each of my houses brings in on average about $1,100 on each house. And right now we have 70. So that's $77,000 on the current portfolio that we have. Now you do have to manage out, you do have to minus out taxes, maintenance, insurance, and property management, and then that leaves you with the net. So we came up together with what our goal was to get us to our desired, $65,000 net income every single month just from rental property. He was buying property with other people's money, so he's raising money, fixing it up, and then he's renting them out for the highest amount possible. And then he had great credit at the time. He had like a 700 or something like that. And so he was refinancing them with local banks and then using his private money guy's money again on the next one after he did the refinance. And that was different for me because I wasn't doing it like that. But that's how he was picking them up back to back to back. At the time, I was picking them up by getting deals on the contract subject to or seller finance and raising the $10,000 or $20,000 that I needed to, to come up with the down payment, to get control of these houses. You see what I'm saying? So I was raising money just for partnerships to hold these houses, or for second position notes to hold these houses and keep them for rent. And so we were able to strategize and come up with like, this is how we get to our goal. 100 rentals gives us the $65,000 net that we need. Boom. Now he was doing fix and flips at this time, and I was doing like buying as is and selling as is. Not just wholesaling. So wholesaling is you putting a deal under contract, and then you're making an assignment agreement before you close on it to make that fee. And that's great because both of us made money like that. And on average, I think his average deal size was higher than mine at the time. I think mine was like $7,800. His was like $20,000 or something. But that inspired me to get my wholesale fee up. Okay. And so that was like a whole different stream of income. We also talked about, well, what does our wholesale income have to be in order for us to get paid even more money? Because inside of a wholesaling company, you're creating a lead system. So you have to pay for marketing, you have to have a team, and you have to, in order to make this thing flow right, you need them to be doing more work than you. So that way you can be working on, versus working in, and have a consistent stream of income. And so essentially, me and him determined, 18% of that goes towards acquisitions. We pay our acquisition guys, 12 to 14%, which means we're paying ourselves on average about 6% out of each deal. This is how much money we need to bring in wholesale wise every month so we can get the 6% to cover our mansion. And then lastly is our fix and flip and new development. See, these are the big ones. On a fix and flip deal, at the time I was underwriting mine and I was happy with making $25,000. He told me, no, Sawan, if we really want to get these mansions, we need to be underwriting these things making $45,000 or up. To this day, I still underwrite mine at 40. So, that's just what it is. That's what I'm able to do, and I'm successful at that. But at that time, he said underwrite them at $45,000 and up. So that way, we only have to do 2 fix and flips every month in order to make $100,000. And once again, we're paying ourselves 18% out of that $100,000 for that particular subset of deals. So between these 3 particular categories, rentals, wholesales, fix and flips, and new constructions, we're able to pay ourselves this money, right? So that way we can own these houses. Now, what I've realized is after going to so many masterminds like that one that I met Austin at, it wasn't just me and him that had this idea. There's already guys out there doing it. Okay, there's guys that's already out there doing it, and they're not famous, they're not making music, they own businesses. They're out here creating, money with teams, using marketing and sales in order to get properties under contract to make real estate profits from. And here on this YouTube channel, if you want to learn how to make these kind of profits, so that way, even if it's not a house, if it's a car, if it's the lifestyle, if it's travel, if it's just wanting to have a big family, because we have 6 kids too, You know, all those things require you to be able to generate resources from, and then use those resources to implement the example that you want to be, and give it, you know, and go out there and give it to the world. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, definitely go ahead and subscribe and like this video, and we'll see you guys on the next one.